Hey guys, it's Sour, and I thought I'd start up this little series of Advanced Warfare videos I'll call the Combat Report. This episode will cover Prestige 1 and 2, and what it is basically an opportunity for me to go through my combat record every time before I Prestige, and use that to talk about my opinions on the game thus far. I think it's kind of standard for people to make a first impressions video of a game, like I did, and then later, once they understand the game better, they'll make a full review video. But I didn't want to do that because the nature of a review video is that it's static. Whatever your opinions are in that moment are immortalized in that video. But I'm sure my opinion will change over time, as well as the game will surely change over time with patches and updates. So I'm excited to make these videos where every couple of Prestiges I can recap how my opinions have changed, I can talk about the impact of some patches that may have happened, I can give some tips that I may have discovered, or some good class setups that I've been using, and other stuff like that, as well as I'll be showing off what you get for prestiging, what the rewards and consequences are. Some of you might be curious about that, although I know there must already be tons of videos about prestiging out there on the YouTubes, so that part is nothing new, but that's not really the main focus of these videos. So that being said, let's get into it. I'll cover the first Prestige, then the second Prestige, and then go through my thoughts on the game so far. So here I am before my first Prestige. I got some pretty cool gear. I got my wooden finish Tag 19 that looks pretty sweet, even though it isn't all that good. I'll take a look at some of my classes and camo challenges, although I haven't done a whole lot, mainly because of course they reset when you Prestige, at least they do right now, although that's going to change. If you didn't know, when you Prestige, you keep your camo unlocks, but you do not keep your challenge progress. You can see here I have 7 long shots with the HBRA3. I'm obviously not going to try to get 500 before Prestiging, so that's just wasted. It's like it never happened. And this year, 47 out of 50. If I wanted this camo, yes, I should go out and try to get it before I Prestige, but it's not even worth it, because when I eventually either stop Prestiging, or they change the way this works, which is quite likely if not confirmed, I'll definitely easily get 50 dodge kills all over again before getting 500 long shots anyway, so challenge progress is thrown away at this moment, which I find quite frustrating. In fact, despite some of the other issues this game has, it's actually my biggest complaint about the game right now. I really do not want the challenges to reset when you Prestige. I would much prefer that every little bit of progress I make towards a challenge be kept. I guess they reset the challenges so you can get more XP by completing them again, but I really don't care about that. This system makes it not fun at all to grind for stuff, or challenge yourself to use silly attachments or silly weapons for a challenge, which I honestly quite enjoy doing. Like if I had to get 500 kills with every attachment for some challenge, I'd love to stray away from my standard stuff like the grip, the quick draw, suppressor, red dot, all that stuff, and use some things like the heat sink, which would require me to use a directed energy weapon like the EM1 and the parabolic microphone. And I like limiting myself to some strange weapon or attachment to complete a challenge, but because it's all constantly reset, it's not really fun at all, and it feels like a waste of time. So I generally just keep to my HBR and my BAL and standard attachments all the way through the Prestige. Of course, that was my thought process back when I was playing this. Now, thankfully, enough people I guess have complained, because they are changing this. I saw the patch notes for Advanced Warfare on PC, that it is being changed, and that is awesome. But that's a thing. Moving on to the combat record, my KD is average, my win-loss you might think is exceptional, but here's the thing, win-loss in this game means very little for a few reasons. I've never personally been one of the people who cares about their stats, but if you are a person who cares about that, you're probably not too happy with the bugginess that exists in the game right now. Every time you lose a round in a game like Domination, Capture the Flag, and it's the worst in S&D because of how many rounds there are, you get a loss on your record. So even if you win a game of S&D 5-4 or something like that, you now have 4 losses. And even worse than this, for some reason it seems like winning a game of Uplink gives you a loss no matter what. I was in a party of people and we were on a big win streak having a good time in Uplink, and we noticed our win-loss was only going down, which is kind of silly. Anyway, I won't complain too much at all about that issue because I know for a fact it's also something in the patch that is on our way. Anyway, like I said, stats don't really matter to me, so I play alone a lot, and my win-loss averages out around 2. The reason it's all the way up at 6 is mostly because of playing Infected. That's another reason why the win-loss stat is basically worthless. If you really cared about your win-loss, you could just go play Infected to boost it up, because you win Infected 95% of the time. The reason I was playing Infected so much was partly because, well, it's fun, and partly because it's okay to be AFK. I had some other stuff I wanted to work on while getting a tiny bit of XP, and if I was going AFK in a hardpoint game, then I'd kind of be a scumbag letting my team down. But as a survivor in Infected, I can go AFK AFK, and that's basically what you're supposed to do in the game, is hide from the infected, so that's also why my score per minute is so low. But whatever, stats don't matter. If you want to judge my skills at playing this game, you can just watch me play it. So, moving on, I can take a look at some of these medals, a couple small kill streaks, nothing too impressive, not much to do here. Score streaks, it says my favorite score streak is the aerial recon drone, which is complete hogwash. I absolutely hate that thing. I mean, it's really not a bad streak, it's pretty helpful when your team has one, but I just don't want to control it. I don't want to be out of the game for that long. I much prefer streaks that you can activate and forget about. So you can see I've mainly been running the support combo of UAV, care package, turret. Some people think the turret is useless, I say they aren't using it correctly. I like running those 3 streaks with all support and maxed out modifiers. It's not that I'm completely incapable of earning assault streaks by any means, but there aren't that many that are super worth it, and I just don't want to be concerned about my kill streak. I don't have to play a bit more conservatively because I'm 1 kill off a paladin or something. I'd rather just play the game and call my streaks when I inevitably get them, and call it good. Exo launcher is kinda whatever, don't think many people care. The spike drone and the explosive drone are because of infected, otherwise I simply prefer the frag for some objective modes, but I usually run nothing. Weapons, I'm liking the HBR the most. The BAL is the one most labeled as OP at the moment, but they're both quite powerful in my opinion. There's the Bulldog because of infected, of course, and look at all these other weapons that I haven't given much of a chance. I'm really looking forward to some possible balance patches and hopefully a reform of the challenge system, so I can have some fun trying out these underused weapons. But I think that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and prestige. I'm thinking I'll select the HBR to unlock. Not that I need that at all. I could easily live off the BAL, but there isn't a whole lot else I need to get. And yeah, there we go. Let's take a look at what we got. So here we are. You get the full Sentinel Recon suit as well as your 6th Creator class slot for first prestige. I'll go ahead and put some of that on. For some reason I missed the helmet completely. It's right there. But there it all is, except for the helmet. It does look pretty sweet, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and rock some of my elite gear. I'd rather show that stuff off because everyone can already see that I'm past first prestige by just looking at my emblem. And speaking of emblems, as in the kind that you design with shapes and all that, I know of the bug where your emblem can get reset when you prestige, and I know that that's also in the patch that is on the way. Anyway, that's about it for first prestige. I'll go ahead and run through the second, not nearly as much to say because of how much I talked about the first one. You can see my KD is still around the same average place it was before. My win-loss has been curving down towards 2 because I've been playing without a party for almost this entire prestige. Score per minute is of course slowly rising because I've been playing less infected. My favorite weapon is now of course the BAL, even though I don't like it that much. I think I still prefer the HBR personally. I've really been using the BAL more because it's pretty clear that a nerf is coming, so I figured I might as well do some of the challenges for it now while it's still being called the best OP gun out there. When it's made so that some of the challenges for guns don't reset, which is coming, I'll totally be challenging myself and using silly stuff like akimbo SMGs and the crossbow, trying to get the diamond camo on really silly guns and stuff like that. You can see my kill streaks are pretty much the same. I run the support UAV, care package turret. It gives me the most success personally. Medals, same old stuff. I got a frenzy kill, pretty funny how that happened. I might upload the video of that. Ruthless there. Everything else not too special. So let's skip ahead a bit. Let's prestige for the second time. I really didn't know what I wanted to permanently unlock. There just isn't much I need, but I decided to go with Gung Ho. That's become a bit of a crutch perk for me, and there isn't a whole lot else that I want to use in the perk 2 slot, so that's that. For Prestige 2, you are awarded Atlas Tier 1 boots, as well as your 7th Creator class slot. So there are my first 2 prestiges. At the end of this video, I'll give a recap of my opinions so far. Advanced Warfare is very fun, Sledgehammer has done a lot right, and it's turned out amazing, but if I had to pick 5 flaws with the game right at this moment, here they are. Questionable spawns, weapon tier balancing with certain assault rifles being pretty OP, underpowered kill streaks, the broken wins and losses in most game modes, and challenges resetting upon prestiging that makes grinding for completion and camos not fun to do. Now, I know there is a patch coming very soon, and I think it's already live on PC, and that patch, from what I read, actually addresses the 2 issues of camo challenges resetting and the broken win losses, as well as other bugs like the one with the speed reload wasting your ammo when you don't want it to, and I'm sure there will be a balancing patch in the future that addresses the kill streaks and the weapons. The only issue that might be tough is the spawns. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the bad spawns, maybe you haven't seen what I've seen. I'm actually going to be making a video about some comically bad spawns that I recorded, so I think that'll be funny. But that's all I have to say. I'll have faith in Sledgehammer until they prove me wrong. They seem to be on top of their stuff, and I'm excited to see the updates happen. I can't really predict when the next combat report will be, but hopefully there will be some patches and some more changes made to the game soon, and we can address those key problems I just listed and see what has changed. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.